welcome back to another episode. What? Okay, you gave me a weird face immediately. Already messed it up.
That wasn't you. You're over
God.
here. I was looking at the other monitor, bro.
Well, who else are you talking to, bro? We gotta record.
I was looking at me, bro. My beautiful face is over here.
I thought you might have been just watching What the Dog Doing.
What the dog doing? We went on a tour of meme history before recording.
Don't call it a tour of meme history. I showed you Butter Dog and
you didn't show me Butter Dog. You just showed me what the dog doing.
But there's a Butter Dog meme in chat right now.
We have immediately dated when this podcast recording took place. Now people are gonna watch this like 10 years from now, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, back during What the Dog Doing."
No. What the Dog Doing is older. They're gonna think this episode is older. It's a Vine.
Oh right, it was a Vine, but it's had a resurgence lately.
Well, yeah, obviously. Because, I mean, what's the dog doing?
I was going to put this literally at the top of the episode, but then we got distracted and talked about other things. But I think there's one thing very important to say. First, I'm Wob, that's Seaweed. I'm taking your job here. But I have an important question.
What the fuck?
I have an important question.
Right. I'm a little scared, but okay.
How the hell do you find all this weird shit? Referring to this week's show, of course.
Do you want specifically this how I found this one?
This one and in general. You keep showing me weird shit.
Okay, so for those that didn't read the title of this episode, we watched Midori Days. Oh, there we go. No reflection, baby. It's called professionalism.
There's still a reflection.
Shut your goddamn mouth. Anyways, we watched Midori Days. This is the DVD box. They've printed the front like this.
For some reason.
And the back is like that. Whatever. It's the Handheld collection, so you know.
You're welcome, audio listeners.
Yeah, they did it like this and like that. So
it's sideways. Sorry, I had to help him out.
Yeah, okay.
You wouldn't.
Well, it's gonna be like a come to the video section.
This episode is already starting off so accusatory. Oh man, and I think that's how it's gonna go the whole time, honestly.
Oh yeah, it might. So this one I had heard back in the day. So this show's from 2004, right?
Mm.
And back in the day, people used to meme on this show a lot. And
I don't blame them.
So I'd heard about it just from that way.
Hold on. How long ago of back in the day? Like when it came out, we would have been like 6.
No, like late 2000s, early 2010s.
Okay. When
I was first getting into anime, it was still pretty popular to meme on this show. So I'd heard about it a lot, and you know, just like through osmosis or whatever you want to call it. And I never actually got around to watching it. Just never got around to it. And then one day I was in a used bookstore that also sells new books and games and music and just fucking everything. A used media store.
Used media, except for the stuff that isn't used.
Yeah, except for the new stuff. So a used new media store. But I was browsing the anime that they had there. As I always did. I always went to the manga and then to the anime. And then I'd like maybe look at other things. I didn't, whatever. Real books? Gross. So I was browsing through and I saw it on there. It was like Midori Days, the Handheld collection. And I was like, this sounds really familiar. Right? And most of what they had there in DVDs were like box 1 of 3 or something, right? So it only had like a few episodes on it. It's like one disc. And that's what I was expecting this to be. Pulled it out, and it was the whole show, the complete Handheld collection. And I was like, okay, and I think last week I told a brief version of this story. I think I might have mentioned it was like $5. I think it was like $10 for the whole DVD, which not like a pretty good price, right? And I was like, sure, why not? Let's give it a go. I mean, the cover looks interesting. So for visual our viewers, or you can go look up an image of the Handheld collection. You can see there's like a girl, right there, a girl on his hand, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Show about puppets, clearly.
I didn't know what the fuck it was. And then I read the back, and it just starts off with Seiji Mad Dog Sawamura is the ultimate high school punk. With his super strong, invincible right hand, he could punch through cement walls and lay waste to entire street gangs. That's the first 2 sentences, and now I'm very confused, and I have to watch it.
Yeah, that's not what that shows there.
That is very different. Hearts, cute character designs, yeah, very different. So, bought it, and my mom was with me at the time, and she was like, "What are you buying?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it, Mom."
You wouldn't understand.
We had some of these portable DVD players, for cars. Had some of those in the car. So I started watching the show in the car on the way home. And I finished it that day on actually, I forgot about this too, but I actually watched the entire thing. I used my PS3 that was connected to a CRT TV that I had.
Okay.
It was massive and like so fucking heavy. It was a nightmare to move around, but got that full 2004 experience, except for the PS3 part. But
I can imagine.
And it was great. I loved every second of it. And yeah, that's how I found this one.
Sounds kind of like a similar circumstances to. Oh, I adjusted a cable and my whole monitor screen moved, which means now my camera's framed wrong.
Oh my god.
It reminds me kind of a little bit of the setup when I watched Gurren Lagann. I think I was also on an old as dirt TV with a barely functioning DVD and VHS player hooked up to it. And mind you, this was only like 3 years ago. And then I borrowed the DVDs off of a friend, or did I borrow them from him, or did I borrow them from his brother? I think I borrowed my friend's DVDs from my friend's brother. And then I watched it, and I had to watch it in English because I didn't have a remote for the DVD player, so all I could do was press play. I couldn't go into the audio settings, and it defaulted to English. And I finished the show, and I went, it was all right.
Maybe that's the issue. You watched the dub.
I mean, I didn't want to.
Maybe that's the issue here.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, the entire show structure, plot, and everything is going to go up like 3 points of rating if I watch it in Japanese.
I mean, it might, bro.
I don't think it will, bro.
Yeah, because...
What did I even end up rating it? Whatever.
I mean, a lot of the weird stuff I what do you consider weird? I want to know.
I don't know. Girls replacing people's hands definitely qualifies.
Well, yeah, I know, but like, what else? You mentioned that I bring in a lot of weird shows.
I'm flipping through our listings right now. I'm trying to. Paradise Kiss just looked weird. I can't really count that.
Yeah, but you think a lot of shows look weird.
Yeah, well, that's because a lot of shows look weird.
If it doesn't look like anime, then it's weird.
Inuyashiki was a weird one. That's on you. Asobi Asabase is a weird one. That's on you. Sambot 3. Ugh.
Shut up, bro.
Denari no Sekikun was weird, but I was here for it. So I'm not going to hold that against you. We can go take this all the way back to the beginning of the show. Binankoko Chikyu Boibu Love was weird.
It's a banger, dude.
It was weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I'm a little confused on your Sekikun one, because I don't...
It was just strange. It was a fun strange, though, and it had the best ED ever. So, like, it gets the best.
Sekikun, I just happened to see at a convention.
I'll call Gleipnir weird, too.
Happened to see it at a convention. Which was weird? Gleipnir?
Gleipnir. Episode 1, baby. Published on 7/20/20, dude.
Oh, man. Binankoko Chikyu Boibu Love, I was recommended by a friend because she knew I liked magical girl shows.
We watched Data Live that early?
I
thought Data Live was
like a lot of them.
I just like episode 6.
I just kind of come across them. Inuyashiki I knew about because I'd watched Gantz. and I had heard people talking about it when it was coming out seasonally.
Now, mind you, when I say a show is weird, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Doesn't necessarily mean it's good either. It just is a state of being.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't
I just want to clarify that, lest someone yell at me, someone most likely being you. Speaking of,
I hadn't yelled at you yet.
Have we?
No, we haven't. Because you had to steal the intro away.
I did. Okay, finish the intro. What are we drinking? Are we doing shots? Do you have shots? I don't have shots.
I have a shot. What are you drinking?
For the most part, I'm just drinking a rum and coke. I'm gonna go on to very fast story time here. We were both unfortunate enough to graduate in 2020, so we didn't get a college graduation.
Okay, I want to stop you there because I think that's a great thing. I didn't have to sit in a fucking chair for 8 hours. Sounds great to me.
Well, we finally got our college graduation like 3 days ago, and I went.
I did not. Fuck that.
You missed the most our school thing ever. At the very beginning of the graduation ceremony, which actually didn't take that long. It was under an hour. They were like, everybody stand while we listen to the national anthem performed by our staff member. And they put it up on the projector, and the audio just didn't fucking play.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And one of the tech dudes runs across the gym between the audience and the stage. And so we're all trying to chuckle because this is all very silly. And then he comes back even heavier footed than before, so he runs in front of the stage. Boom, boom, boom. All of the parents are like, "Oh, this is weird," and all of the students are trying not to die laughing.
Because it's like, yeah, this is exactly how I expected this to go.
Yeah, our school is special. Either way, my friends and I had a party afterward, and I may or may not have finished all of the alcohol I had left over.
Good night. Okay.
Yeah, it was a little wild. So tonight's drinks are courtesy of my roommate. Rum and Coke with a very light amount of rum. But instead of a shot, I'm gonna channel my inner frat boy that isn't there. I'm gonna pretend to be a frat boy. And for each shot that we do for now in the second half, I'm gonna pound part of a natty light. I'm gonna chug sad beer instead of doing a shot.
You're doing a fucking natty light? Oh my god.
It's what we had in the fridge, bro.
Just go to the store earlier.
I didn't have the opportunity. I was watching Midori Days and playing Hades.
Oh my god.
And playing Magic and losing at Magic.
Alright, well, I will be taking shots of the same stuff I've been taking shots of for a while.
It's almost out of
sours. Yeah, it is. We're running low. Gonna have to make another run soon. But for while I'm drinking, when I'm drinking, when I'm drinking, it's twee.
Yo, bro.
I'm drinking it's a room temperature twee because I didn't forget to put them in the fridge. I just didn't.
My soda bottle just made noise. Spooked me.
Oh my god.
It's the ghosts.
Are you ready to take your
I'm ready to go in, dude.
Boy shit. Oh my god. All right, well, kanpai.
Kanpai. Oop, nope, I didn't get that far. I need to breathe. Yeah.
I feel like
I don't think I even made it halfway. That was pathetic.
It's a natty light, so.
Well, no, it's not a taste issue. It's just I realized, oh crap, I need air. I haven't learned. I haven't learned the strats.
Did you forget to inhale before?
Yeah, kind of.
You were like, all right, 3, 2.
No,
just immediately exhale, then start going. Yeah.
I have only drank an amount of beer speedily one other time, and that was when my roommates and I. Oh, what the fuck did he call it? I think he called it Beerio Kart or something like that. It was a game of Mario Kart, except you had to chug an entire beer by the end of the game. Except you're not allowed to be driving at the time. You have to come to a complete stop if you're going to drink. I won. I won because I was the only person that didn't try to pound the entire thing before starting.
That's honestly a pretty solid strat, though. If you can do it.
I at the beginning of the race, I did like a third of the can, and then I did my lap, and then I came to a stop, drank, lap, and then yeah.
I did mean chugging the whole thing at first.
Yeah, that's what everyone else did.
You can just race, but clearly they weren't good enough at chugging.
That, or I'm significantly better at Mario Kart. I won by splitting it up each lap.
Yeah.
I am also a pro gamer, so keep that in mind.
Uh-huh.
I'm at least a better gamer than my roommates.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm sure that's a really high bar.
Okay, now that's just mean. I'm going to tell them you said that.
I don't know who the fuck I am. I've never met these people.
You seem very confident in my roommate's lack of ability. Why is there a receipt on top of my notes?
I don't know.
What is this for? Oh, it's for the pizza. It's for the pizza that I ate.
Oh, wow, crazy.
It's very important. I need to find. It was paper. I didn't know what it was. I've got my notes here. I've got a comment about my notes, but I will save it till later because it will give away some information that you shouldn't have yet.
That I shouldn't have.
Yeah, it's information about my opinions.
Oh, man. I mean, you already know my opinion about this show.
I've got a decent guess as to your opinion on this show, and you can probably already take a guess at my opinion of this. But I'm going to try not to be super blatant about it till the end, because there's been several times where I've been like 10 minutes into recording where I'm just like, I love this show or I hate this show. I'm trying not to do that.
Okay, so you don't love or hate this show. Got it. All right. Now the whole episode is just gonna be me detectiving how you feel about the show.
How do you think I feel about this show?
Well, there's not enough clues yet. I gotta gather the clue. It's like Blue's Clues.
You gotta write it in your handy-dandy notebook.
Uh-huh. And then I gotta sit in the thinking chair and think.
Okay, there we go. I'm like halfway through.
I love that fucking show, man. Blue's Clues is the fucking best.
I haven't watched it since I was like 4, but honestly, I should go back to it. I saw the video that came out a couple weeks ago when.
Yeah, bro. When I tell you, I almost cried.
You cry easily. You cry a lot easier than I do.
Yeah, but I don't think you don't know how much Steve means to me, bro.
Yeah,
like
I'm also not saying that's a bad thing. So like,
ooh, that was my childhood. I had the thinking chair. I had the fucking thinking chair as a kid. It was the best. Oh man!
Wait, you had the thinking chair?
Yeah, like a little like toddler sized thinking chair.
Okay, that's actually kind of amazing.
My mom won it in like a raffle at somewhere. It was sick.
That's actually really, really good. When I was little, what was the best thing I had was this giant. It may not have been giant, actually. It was giant to me when I was like 4. But I had this huge stuffed gorilla that was like significantly bigger than I was at the time, so I could like sit like in its lap. That thing was like the best.
I had a
I think I shouldn't say that.
Something. Okay.
Well, no, I remembered why it got thrown away.
Oh, see, I had a similar to that. It was pretty tall. It was probably like 3 or 4 feet tall, but it was a Taz.
Oh yeah,
Tasmanian Devil from Looney Tunes. Yeah, he was sick. I mean, like he's got spindly ass legs, so you can't exactly like sit in it like a chair.
Yeah,
but it was sick.
I remember I used to lay the gorilla on the floor next to my bed, like lengthwise, because I was always worried that I would roll out the side, and I wanted to have a good cushion to land on. I was very overly cautious as a child. I'm still very overly cautious. There's a reason I barely go outside. There's a reason I'm a hermit.
All right. Well,
if you had to make all your friends like Persona confidants, what arcana would they be? I'm hermit.
That's such a that's such a big question to just throw on a man.
Bro, rank all your friends as confidants. Do it now. Who's who?
Yeah, rank my friends. Yeah, that's a good...
That's not what I meant. That's not what that means.
All right, we're going to start on an F tier, and for that one, I'm thinking I'm going to put...
No, they're not in order. They're not in order.
Made me pay for lunch the other day. Kind of a dick. Bitch move. So, yeah, definitely F tier. But maybe, if he pays me back, then S tier again. Who knows?
That's not how any of that works, you five-head.
That's ranking them on a tier maker tier
I didn't
list.
say on a tier list. I said assign them Arcana. I don't know what
you
Arcana
said rank
you
your
would
friends as Arcana. Yeah, I'm probably the fucking fool.
No, fool is the player character. Like, if you are making the list, you are the fool.
Yeah, that's true. But you ranked yourself as Hermit.
On your list.
I thought you... What the fuck? Oh, my fucking... So Midori days, am I right?
So Persona 5, the animation.
We didn't watch that. I just haven't watched that.
I haven't watched it either, because I've played the game twice.
I've played the game. I don't really need to watch it. So...
Okay, but... Okay.
Midori days, where are we starting?
I don't know. We've already kind of talked about the summary a little bit. The basic conceit of there's an angry punching man, but now he can't punch because his right hand is a girl.
His demon right hand.
His demon right hand is a girl now. A real girl who exists and is present in the world, but she's there also.
Not just like didn't just take your Figma off the shelf and surgically implanted into his hand or nothing.
No, I mentioned this plot point in the Discord that we are both in, and the group got very, very invested in trying to figure out exactly how she was attached to his arm, which we never truly find out. We don't know where things connect, just that she is his hand. But the group was they were yelling at me to get answers.
I'm going to guess it's like the waist.
Probably.
Or the
most
hips.
likely. But it is not shown.
Yeah.
But they were very determined to learn the scientific ins and outs. I don't know why. Yeah,
the scientific... Okay, if you're listening, which I feel like one of you might be, she don't gotta... I'm not going to say it, actually. I'm not going to say the word. She definitely doesn't, though.
I highly doubt...
above.
Given the group it was, I highly doubt that is why they wanted to know.
It stops above any of that.
Yeah, because then you'd have to, figure out there's, 2 connections onto the wrist, and I think it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... Yep. So there's also a bit more to Midori Days because it is a rom-com.
Mm-hmm.
Because the girl who appears on on Seiji's hand, whose name is Midori, she has a crush on Seiji and hasn't been able to tell him. But then there's other girls like the president. Which is Ayase.
President of the United States.
No, there's Ayase, this student council president or class president or something, who kind of falls for him. Then there's this neighborhood girl, Shiori, who's in love with him. Yeah, it's one of those I'm grown up too kind of scenarios. Then there's his sister, who's she's something.
You act like she's not the best.
Okay, I'm gonna make a reference to last week's episode, or the Kakagurui episode. She's a fucking psychopath. What the fuck?
Well, I wouldn't say psychopath. She just steals her little brother's money and runs a biker gang.
And teaches the little 10-year-old some stuff on how to hook up with Seiji.
Yeah, that was a bad episode. That was
she's a fucking psychopath.
I was gonna wait to bring it up. That episode was nearly enough to make me not want to watch any more of this show. I seriously considered, if it weren't for the podcast, I would have stopped watching the show there. That was bad. I did not like it.
Yeah, but see, it's... Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
I did not like it. Sam, I am.
Then there's one more character. Kind of two more characters.
Manga Man.
Yeah, Takamizawa. He's the doll. He's a figure / doll guy.
He initially thinks Midori is like a hand puppet because he carries one of his own around.
Yeah, and then you got the bro, Miyahara.
The rich boy or Samizawa's friend.
Oh yeah, Samizawa's friend. Yeah, the bro. I did forget about Koda. But yeah, Koda is like Midori's childhood friend.
Sawamura is the only character whose name I wrote down, and I wrote it down poorly enough that I keep misreading it.
I just call him Seiji, because that's...
Seiji, that's easy to remember. Seiji and Midori are easy enough to remember. Everyone else, I keep forgetting.
Yeah, but it's a pretty small cast of characters overall.
My favorite character is the cat.
Okay, I was going to bring that up later, but yeah, okay.
This is a good cat.
Go for it.
He's very round.
Oh, okay. Was that all?
Yeah, I like the cat.
Okay.
I like cats in anime. It was a good cat.
It also had like a cool B plot.
You kind of did, actually, in the last few episodes, yeah.
That went along with, like, the whole...
It paralleled Seiji's arc.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I'd say that with half sarcasm.
Yeah, but that's just what it does.
Technically true, but, like, very bare bones. But also, it was a good cat. I like the cat.
It's also a B plot, so...
I want to pet the cat.
If not a C plot, honestly. Like, there's not really a lot there, but it still parallels Seiji's growth as a character and stuff, in different ways, but yeah, no, it was pretty fun little, like, a detail in there that I liked as well.
I don't have that much to say about the story. Like, I'll admit, my notes are not the most thorough this time around. I wound up writing a lot less than I would normally do for a recording session.
You didn't even write a full page?
I barely got to the second page.
What the fuck?
Okay, there's one of the things I said I wasn't going to do. I wrote down so little on some of these episodes that they're only like 2 or 3 lines each, which is really, really short for my extensive note-taking. Episode 10... I don't even know what the fuck happened in episode 10. There was so little notable in 10 that I just have 2 question marks. That's all I put for 10 because I realized I got to the end of the episode. I'd written nothing down. Nothing stood out to me. Which is strange. I can usually at least find something important to put down.
What happened in the episodes right before it and right after?
Right before it was when they went to the con, and right after that, Seiji said sus.
Huh?
Okay, I remember the specific context of that one. It was the one where they start off with rock, paper, scissors, and Midori's like, if whoever wins, the other has to do exactly what they say. And Midori wins and is like, I want you to say I love you, which in Japanese is something along the lines of Suki something. And he's like tripping over his words, and so he's like sus, and so I wrote down sus.
Our audio listeners, you can't see me right now, but I am very disappointed
When are you not disappointed in me?
No, like this one's like I had to let the audio listeners know. Like that's how disappointed right now.
I'm just gonna stay over here. And I'm gonna drink my rum and coke out of my Batman mug. Oh fuck, that's Pikachu out of my Pikachu mug. I don't even have a Batman mug. How the fuck did I get that wrong? I have a Batman shirt, not a Batman mug. I'm not drinking rum and coke out of my Batman shirt.
What are you going on about right now?
I don't know. I said Batman mug, and I don't even own a Batman mug. I need to get a Batman mug now.
Don't drink alcohol out of mugs.
What? Wait, what's wrong with mugs? I like mugs. They're cool.
Yeah, for coffee and tea and like hot chocolate.
And booze.
No.
Why not?
The only like mug that, you got a beer stein, which is not a mug.
No, I don't have a beer stein. This is a mug, and I'm drinking my rum and coke out of it.
I know that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying it's not a mug. It looks like a mug, but it's not. And then there's whatever the Moscow Mule comes in.
I have drunk alcohol out of a mug the entire time of the podcast. We started off with my Christmas mug.
Yeah, I know.
Why was there a Sprite can in it?
I don't know. It's your fucking room.
I don't know either.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Where do I... Woo. Goes over there now.
Yeah, that'll be nice for the listeners.
Yeah. What? It was just canned sounds. I just threw it into the trash pile. If I mentioned I'm a hermit.
Hey, at least be respectable enough to put the trash bag right beside your desk like I do.
No, it's like right there. It's like 4 foot away.
Is it in a bag?
It's in a paper delivery bag.
But not like a trash bag.
No, it's in a paper delivery bag that's sitting on top of the Domino's boxes.
Oh, see, I have a trash bag sitting next to me.
I have a space.
And then I have an empty trash can underneath my desk.
I have a space that I put trash in until I have to take it out, which I need to do that. It's not that bad. It's definitely been worse. It has definitely been worse.
Oh, I believe it. I do believe it.
I was not doing very well during the first half year of our podcast.
Yeah. All right.
Kind of terrified to. Have you listened to any of our old episodes? I'm kind of scared to.
No.
I don't think we're even that good now, but we've definitely improved. I don't know what that means for our old stuff.
I fucking hope so. Good lord.
We got that old style crunchy audio from when I was using this thing to record.
The fucking gamer mic.
The gamer mic. I sounded like a 14-year-old on Xbox Live.
Yeah, like just a Call of Duty lobby, just waiting when I had to like censor that shit. You know. No, okay, so you said you didn't really have like a lot written down.
Not really. The first couple episodes are like setting up characters. Like the second episode is like, this is the student council president. She's mean, but she has a crush on Seiji. Or, well, she didn't at the time, but she did afterward.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have one of my biggest points of frustration in episode 2. Like, it's realistically a bit minor, but it bothered me.
Okay.
Where it was one of those where you could tell the joke they were going to make like 3 years before they did it, because the setup was just that obvious. And it's very standard anime trope. And so like they start to set it up, and I'm like, oh, they're going to do the gag. And then they do it, and I'm like, oh, they did. That was the joke.
Could you be any more specific, please?
Do you want me to be more specific? Okay, so he went to see Midori at her house. And there was actually, like, actual story moment where they're like, hey, look, she's still here. She's just unconscious while she's on your hand, but, like, her actual body's here. She's in a coma or whatever. And he's like, look, he talks to Midori, and he's like, her mom steps out. And he talks to Midori, and he's like, hey, try touching yourself or whatever, and, like, that's the worst way to phrase that, and see if you come back. And so it's like, I don't know, like, put Midori hand or something on her face or something. No. They fling the blanket back, and she's full-on naked, titties out. Told you I was going to work it in.
I mean, I didn't really have any doubts.
And she's like, "Oh no, don't look, don't do the thing." And I'm like, "They're gonna think he's being inappropriate. They're gonna think he's being creepy." And then like they hear a noise, and Midori's like, "Oh no, we gotta try it now!" And she swings down and touches right on the boobie. And then her mom walks in, and I'm like, "That's the joke. See, because he's not being weird, but it looks like he's being weird." I don't know, man. It just felt really. It felt like they took a cheap joke there.
Yeah, but also, like, her mom reacts in a way that most people don't, where she just immediately faints. As soon as the door opens, she just passes out.
Instant.
And there's there's no shots of, well, there's like a quick thing of them being like, "Oh, you think you're gonna get out of here alive after pulling that shit?" But like they don't extend that like some anime would do. It's not like an extended chase scene. It just cuts.
No. It's like he runs to the gate and he gets out. So like they didn't like linger on it, but still, it was a setup that even I could see, like a light year away, which is saying something.
It's saying a lot.
Shut up! I'm allowed to roast me, not you.
Oh, really? What have I been doing for the past 44 episodes?
I don't know. I don't... And realistically, I don't know if I can really complain too much, because, like, I don't have any other bits that I specifically want to call out as being, like, using horrendously overdone jokes. But that one specifically did feel like... It's like, come on, man, everyone's made that joke. Every show does that joke. Let's find something to do. I don't know.
Okay.
It bothered me a little.
But also, I do want to say, for the context that you have, in terms of timeline, this show did it first.
I mean, theoretically, yeah, I suppose.
Well, not even theoretically. For the context of what you've watched, this is the earliest one to do that joke. Like, what else have you watched that's older than this show? Besides Zambot 3.
Zambot 3! I don't know what else happened before 2004. I was too young to remember anything before 2004. I couldn't actually tell you. So yeah,
you haven't finished Ava, so
you're arguably correct that I can't hold it too much against this show for being older than most of the other things I've done this. It is a tired joke, but it is a tired joke modern day. Maybe it was less tired back then. I don't know. I, as an audience, with what I've seen watching this show, I was like, oh, it's that joke again. Because it's around a lot.
Yeah, but again, like I don't think there's any issue really with coming at it from that context of like it's tired to me because of what I've seen, right? Like that's fine. Like I don't have any issue with that. And I don't even know if this was tired or not at this point. Like it probably had been done quite a few times before. But I think that it does it really well, that even if you're able to see what like the punchline is, right? I would say that the punchline is more the reaction, and I don't know if you could really tell like what the mom was gonna do. Mm-hmm. Really,
yeah.
Like,
the follow up was better than it could have been. That's for sure.
Yeah, and they didn't linger on it too much, which is one thing I think this show does really well. Is with all of its jokes, it doesn't like keep like you know giving you the rib check, of like, hey, you see, isn't this funny? It's still funny, right, guys? It's still funny, right? Like it doesn't keep doing it. It's like, all right, there's your joke. Let's move on. Mm-hmm. Which I appreciate about it a lot. And the jokes that it has that are reoccurring, they're not like all the time. Like, guys, remember when we made that joke before? Isn't that great? Mm. Here it is again. They're not like back to back, and they change them up slightly. Like most of Odin's scenes, his Seiji's sister's scenes, right? They kind of have a similar vibe, similar joke to them, you know, where she'll steal his money and shit, but like it's always in like different ways.
Yeah,
and
that's actually where we would have been going next. Episode 3 is the introduction and like focus on his sister Rin, and she's trouble. I like her a lot.
Yeah,
because like they spent like the very beginning of the show setting up Seiji as being like such a tough guy, delinquent, fighty man. His sister will wipe the floor with him, and it's hilarious every time.
Oh yeah, no, and that is a kind of a trope that you see around too, you know. But
I'm here for it though.
Oh no, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I don't think just something being a trope is bad. Like certain fucking websites and YouTube channels would like you to believe.
If a joke has ever been made in the past ever, it is inherently problematic if you do it again.
Yeah, no, that's all bullshit. No, I like the dynamic that they have too, where he doesn't like necessarily cower to her and just bend to her wills. He more tries to ignore her, you know, or he'll like try to fight back even if he can't, you know. He's, what did she say, like 280,000 years too early,
something like that.
Is something
I am reminded really fast of one other. It is a trope, but it bothers me. But I think it's also because I find it frustrating in like every show that it's in, not necessarily just this one. One where girl puts herself in a mildly compromising situation and then gets mad at the person that happened to be present when she did it. Like, i.e. when Midori in the first episode, like, gets super excited and puts her arms up when she's in his sleeve and it droops down and she exposes herself and then gets mad at him for doing it. And it's like, no, you did that. That's your own fault. Stop. I don't know. It frustrates me in every show. I don't think it's funny, and they do that a lot in this one. I don't think it's a funny joke.
I do kind of think it's funny.
I don't think it's funny.
So I don't really have an issue with it.
That joke falls flat on me in every show that does it, and a lot of shows do it.
Yeah, a lot of shows they do like to do it.
One that bothered me a lot that did that, and it's a show I actually liked. It was a recent one with a fucking behemoth of a title. If I say Mommy Sakai, is that enough? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I mean, yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah,
most
that one.
Would.
They did that a lot in that one with the redhead mage. And I don't know. It's like, I don't think it's a good joke. Find better jokes. I don't know. That's my opinion. This show is all opinions. That's what reviewing is opinions.
Except for me. No, I'm fucking kidding. But yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from. But again, I don't really have as big of an issue with it.
This is also the Hot Springs episode. Very important.
Is it now?
Well, it's not a hot springs. I think it's just an onsen. It's just a bathhouse. But still. Very important. Because and then like he's like hanging out with Midori and it's being awkward because oh no, they're like in the bathhouse together or whatever, and then his sister walks in and is just like, yo, I'm here, I hope you didn't want me to wear clothes. But then they have a really good sequence actually not involving that part of it where she like talks to Midori about Seiji's childhood, and I'm like, okay, this is good, we get some backstory on the man.
Not only do we get backstory on him, but it feels natural.
Yeah.
And it adds to the plot because Midori's like, oh, even after learning about him as a kid, shit I didn't know before, I still really like him.
And you know it's important because they framed the entire story with nudity on either end.
You proud of yourself?
I'm not. I'm really not. We should definitely put this on our college's radio.
Oh man, we're not going into context about that.
Yeah, that's enough there.
That is okay. So this is one thing that we briefly talked about before recording.
Okay,
where you were like,
I've already forgotten.
You chose a titty show. You know? right? And I was like, okay, but it's tasteful. Because
But is it?
very rarely is it actually used for fan service.
Yeah, no, a lot of times it's like present
Like,
for
you're
like...
gonna be fucking naked in a bathhouse. You know? It would
Okay,
be weird
well, just
to not
because...
be.
I'm not going to disagree with you here in this particular instance, but just because it's set in a bathhouse doesn't mean it's not going to be fan service.
Oh, no. That's true.
Okay,
But like,
I want to make
they're
sure
not-
that's not what you're trying to say.
No. But they're not framing it in that way for the entire sequence.
It's not bathhouse
They do a
hijinks.
joke about it when
Yeah.
his sister first shows up.
And I think it's actually a decent joke. They do the joke of like, oh, we grew up together, like we used to bathe together or whatever. You have a problem with that? And so, like riffing on the fact that he's uncomfortable with it, and she's way too wild. So like, yeah, they make a legitimate joke off of that instead of just being like, I don't know, hey, bathhouse, look at titties.
Yeah, and also, like, I don't know. Personally, it always like irks me whenever like somebody like either like how do I put like in comics or like superhero stuff, right? If somebody has the ability to teleport their body, right? But then also like their clothes get teleported with them when that's not part of like the ability. It's like just themselves. And like it would make sense if like their suit had that ability too, you know, but then like if they're just wearing normal clothes that also gets teleported, that it's like the Hulk's pants too are another thing. Like it makes no goddamn sense why only the pants of the Hulk stay on, you know.
Well, you know what? I'm okay with that. I don't think I need to see the Hulk swinging dong around New York City.
Oh, it would be swinging, bro. Like, but it's something about that always irks me whenever like you're able to like materialize clothes also, which is why I'm glad that this show makes a point of like, no, she has to like make her own clothes, or they have to like buy her clothes.
Oh yeah. She doesn't just
That's
have
what all of
tiny
that was
people
leading
clothes.
up to. Right.
Okay, I thought you were still talking about the bathhouse. I thought you were going to make like a censorship complaint or something.
No, I like she, you know, she's just a fucking hand, just replaces his hand, so it doesn't make sense that she would also come with clothes.
Yeah, and so we have like an entire story arc where they go to like a hobby shop for like dolls and figurines and stuff to like try to get her clothing.
Yeah, and it's a really good. I like it's like a detail that it's not really used for fans. It is like a little bit, but not
A
like
tiny bit. She goofs around with like different outfits, but I don't think they are being particularly egregious with it.
Oh no, I just meant like her being naked when first appearing.
Oh, right. Yeah. That
Like,
makes sense.
There's probably like a bit of fan service there, but also it's not really like framed in that way. You know?
To be fair, I don't think it was particularly necessary either, because like she was being very modest and like covering herself with like his sleeve, which also conveys the point of she's just like appeared here and doesn't have anything.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And like the only time it shows it is when she gets overly excited and like forgets about everything. When she lifts her hands up, you know, which it more is just like shows her character of like who she actually is, rather than being like, look at the tits, guys. You know?
Yeah, and well, I mean, I will still wager that the titties in this are kind of... I just realized how ridiculous I sound because I'm trying to be like academic about this. I will wager that it is still like fan servicey because it doesn't necessarily need to be there. When it does show up, because it shows up in like half the episodes, I think.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
When they show it up, they do a good enough job at working it into the environment so as to be a natural occurrence. However, I don't think it necessarily needs to be there. I don't think anything is particularly added by it, except for maybe I'd excuse the bathhouse one as like trying to exemplify a little bit more of Rin's character. I can see the argument for that one. Mm-hmm. But there are other instances where I think if they didn't have everything exposed, I don't think it would change anything in the scene.
Oh no. There's definitely like instances and stuff too. And like there's definitely like some fan servicey moments and stuff, but I think for the most part it's generally not used in like a fan servicey way.
You know? You might end up wanting to cut this out, but I was talking to my roommate. We were talking about the Sid Figure episode, and we thought it was kind of entertaining how, like, you're like, oh, no, there's nothing fan servicey in here. And I'm just like, yeah, you know, I mean, I don't know. The ace person, of course, doesn't see anything sexualized.
Dog, you gotta call me out like that? What the fuck?
That's why I said you might want to trim it. I don't know if that joke's allowed in here.
No, it's totally fine. I don't care. No. But it is. I think it is pretty funny because sometimes I'll like stop myself too and be like, "Wait, I don't know if I'm allowed to comment on this. I don't know if this is my place."
As someone who is very definitely not ace, I can identify fan service.
Yeah, I feel like I can for the most part, but there's times I think where it's like in this when it's more mixed in with a lot of different things, and that's not like the focus of where the camera's placed.
Yeah,
know?
Definitely. Like there's a difference between this show where a character gets their titties out and you're just like, whatever, as opposed to the shows where they're like zoom in,
DD.
Look at this, there's
and you
out.
And you get the boing noise.
Yeah, with the sound effects. Yeah. There's
a slow motion boob jiggle. Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be in this show. Therefore, I believe it qualifies as fan service, but I wouldn't say it's egregious fan service like a lot of shows will do anymore.
Yeah, that's
Which
true.
I also keep in mind, if that is what the show you're watching is about, I'm not going to fault it. Like, yeah, you're going to get egregious fan service, and to use your own example, High School DxD, that's why you're watching it. Let's be real.
Okay, no, I think it has actually a really cool story and really well-written characters, but okay. I'm the ace person. I don't know what the fuck you want from me.
Whereas in this show, yeah, it's there, but, like, it's not the focus. People like it, it's there, but, like, they're not trying to make an aggressively... I mean, this would still probably be considered, like, on the tame end of ecchi, but they're not making ecchi the point of the show like a lot of others are.
Right, yeah. No,
we just
100%.
had an intellectual discussion about fan service and titties for, like, 30 minutes. I would just
one last thing about this topic, and then I think we'll go on our break here.
On our break? Oh, dang.
Oh, it's about that time.
Sorry, you lose track of time when you talk about things you love.
Horny motherfucker. Anyways, what I was gonna say was, I think fan service has really gotten a negative stigma around it. You know, that whenever because like I use the worst hell site, Twitter. It sucks ass, but there's really good artists that I can't find anywhere else. So, but there's a lot of really bad opinions. But on Twitter, it's either good or bad, black and white, which it's a lot of places like that now. But fan service always tends to be in the bad, generally, Because I mean, sometimes it could get pretty bad. But I think this is like a good example of fan service where it makes sense within context.
It makes sense and it doesn't stand out horribly badly. It's not shoehorned in.
Right, exactly.
It's not put there to be like, look at this, give us ratings.
Like one specific scene that I think they easily could have, and they didn't, is from the episode where they switch places, where Seiji becomes Midori's hand. Right? And in the doll shop, there's the one creep who's taking pictures from under her skirt in secret.
Yeah, we don't see the pictures.
We don't see the pictures, which some shows would 100% show you the camera angle.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't,
because
that would have been wildly unnecessary.
Oh yeah, no, that was not needed at all, because it also made him seem a lot worse, I think, than if they would have shown it and it would have been like, oh, well, now we're kind of
that would
almost
put the viewer on his level given the story of that sequence.
Oh yeah, especially given the context of what was happening. Yeah, no, definitely. And so that's why I think I wasn't calling it fan service, but like it is fan service, just not.
It is. It just probably
just
doesn't deserve
good.
the connotation that the term has,
Yeah.
because a lot of shows that do it now, I would say, don't do it well. They put either. Fan service is conditional based on the intent of the show and how much focus is put on it. Like, yeah, if they put a lot of focus on the fan service, that's fine if that's what the show's about. Ishizoku reviewers, like, yeah, they're going to put focus on that because that's the point of the show. This show, it's there, but there's not much focus on it because it's not the focus of the show. So it still works.
Mm-hmm. But
Does it need to be there? Does it need to be there?
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Probably not, but it's not hurting anything. It doesn't take away from the show, I don't think.
Right. No, I don't think it does. In some instances, I would.
It could easily have taken away from the show if they handled it worse.
Yeah, but I think they handled it really well, and so it. And I am curious to see how I've got the manga ready to read actually, and I'm curious to see if they handled it as well in the manga or if this was like an anime decision, you know. But yeah, we'll have to see. But I think it's time for a break.
Fair enough.
We will be back shortly to talk about more Midori days.
We'll have to take fan service off the table. We've talked about it too much today. Welcome back to the second half of episode shot of. I was very excited to do a proper intro and not fuck it up.
Well, too bad.
Yeah. Episode 45 of A Shot of Weeb's Green Day.
No.
I had to make the joke at least once.
I said don't make it. You already made it last week, and that was your one
And now
time.
I made it again. And I'm
going to cut it out.
It's the... Okay.
Nobody's going to know why I cut it out, but I'm just going to cut out your audio for a second.
It's the JoJo's Stand Green Day. Green Tea. Gotta stick with the localization. I still have that paper. It's right there from when I wrote down all the localized names while watching JoJo's Part 5 because it was the stupidest stuff ever.
All right.
I had a couple things I wanted to bring up, and I can only remember what one of them is, and that one has to wait. I mentioned on the break what a couple of the worst notes I had from this show were. Mm-hmm. One of them is coming up very, very soon. And when I mentioned, I was like, do you want me to actually bring it up or not? And he was like, well, is it enough to get us in like actual trouble if the college heard us say it? And I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. He's like, well, you have to say it. You're obligated.
Obviously.
So that's going to happen soon. It's
okay.
going to be soon.
All right, well then I have something I can bring up.
Oh, why am I trying to drink this? We're not onto the drink part yet. I'm going to try to clear the rest of this can in one go. And I don't know if I can do it because I'm not good.
Oh, well, let's do that actually now. I am not taking another shot, but I will take a nice big old swig of the twee. You don't want to drink some of that orange soda that's on your windowsill? It's not orange soda, it's pineapple soda. Orange soda's gross.
Pineapple soda, that's a thing?
Yeah, it's great. Somebody made a song about it too, and it's kind of a banger.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, you ready to take a big old swig?
Yeah, this show, they said kanpai in this show, or kanpai. They said it in this show. I always get a little chuckle when they say it in a show we're doing for the podcast.
Kanpai.
Let's go. Almost. I was so close.
Yeah, I got about like a quarter of that can left. That was a new can, by the way.
I've got like a tiny swig left.
No, there's definitely less than a quarter of the can.
I'm not good at beer chugging. I'm not exactly
of
the usual party crowd.
This isn't like this doesn't have bubbles in it. It's not carbonated, so it's easier to just
chug. This was a bit bubbly.
I chugged a tall boy one of these before, actually.
Yeah, well, I've had that too before. It goes down like tea. That's a lot more manageable.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like that difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I can't chug carbonated shit.
I can actually chug soda, which is weird, which is why it doesn't make sense that I can't handle a beer. I guess the bitterness that gets me. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, what the thing I mentioned before that I could bring up here. I don't know how did you watch this show? Like all in one sitting, or did you take multiple days, or like?
I think I watched 3 episodes. And then 4 episodes the next day, and then the other 6 today.
Okay, so you split it up.
I split it up over 3 days.
So both times actually that I've watched this show, I've basically sat down and watched the entire thing all the way through. And I think the reason I like doing that is because, one, it feels really like easy to just do that, and it's very smooth from episode to episode. You know, it doesn't feel like, you know, with each episode, like it's like at a nice stopping point, but it's still like, yeah, one more won't hurt. You know, it's like one of those shows. And also with this one specifically, I think because the main story is so intriguing to me that I don't want to stop until I get to the end. And so rather than seeing it like as in episode 5 this happened, episode 6 this happened, it just all kind of feels like a really long movie to me. So it's hard for me to place what happened in which episode.
And my notes barely help with that. I didn't write much down.
Yeah. But I was just interested to see how you watched it, because I didn't know if that was just me that felt that way. I know you don't binge shows that often.
I generally don't, unless it's a show that like really, really grabs me.
Right. And like generally I will, especially for this podcast. But half the time it is because either I wasn't looking forward to the show, and so like I just didn't really want to start.
You mean you didn't binge Babylon with like pure excitement?
Well, I did, but it was because with each episode I watched, I was like, oh, thank God that's one less I have to watch. But it's either that or my ADHD just won't let me start, which is real fun. Yeah, this one, I don't know, it feels natural to just not put it down. And it's 13 episodes, so it's what, like 5 hours or so straight with like OPs and stuff?
Something like that. Although I did also tend to skip the OP and ED. They weren't terrible, but they weren't amazing.
I did every once in a while. Yeah, they're not my favorites or anything. I don't think they're bad in any way. I actually do really like the OP. Personally,
I like the first like 10 seconds of the ED, but it didn't stay hype enough for me to really keep up with it. I like the way they had like streetlights coming on, and it was the first 3 notes, and then like there's a cool marble in her voice, and then it would actually start to kick in and be like, eh.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, but yeah. So is it time now for your comment?
I suppose that note is technically next. We were probably just going to skip the episode.
Okay.
But we got through, we're going to say for sake of argument, we got through the end of episode 4 on the first half. Episode 5, the first note I wrote down, in referring to Midori, she trying to grab Pain. Because it starts off, well, it doesn't start off. Do you know what bit I'm talking about?
Is episode 5 the one where he's like late for school?
Yeah, it's exactly that one.
Yeah, and so like he goes to the bathroom and he's like, damn, it's really hard to do this with my left hand. She's like, I'll help. Holy fuck, let me help, bro.
Which is funny because, like, it's already showed that she don't want that because she does see his dick in a different episode and gets, like, super upset about it.
Yeah, because it's like something like, I'm glad it was the hot spring episode, because it was the end of it, because she's like, I'm so glad I got to learn more about you, and then like he steps out of the bath, he's like, yeah, whatever, steps out of the bath, his towel falls off, she's like, I didn't want to know about that.
Well, and then next episode she's all about it.
Yeah.
I think the only other note that rivals that one, and it's much more clean, Council President hugs Colonel Sanders.
I don't even know what you're referencing.
She hugs a statue in the episode where she's, like, trying really, really hard to ask Seiji out because she, like, trips and falls on the statue. And I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a Colonel Sanders statue because there are a ton of those around.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It probably was supposed to be Colonel Sanders because Japanese love KFC, too.
We're almost on Japan's KFC season. It's in, like, a month and a half, yo.
Yep. That Christmas season, bro.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, because
KFC.
you know that's how the Americans celebrate Christmas.
We don't even have the menu they do. If we had that menu, I might. Like,
I mean, a lot of people actually do, like, delivery and stuff, like, around Christmas. Like, dude, Christmas Eve was a brutal shift when I worked at pizza chain.
Oh, I believe it. No, because, like, for my family...
I had 1 week where I worked Christmas Eve at pizza delivery place, and then the next week was New Year's Eve at the same place, and that was a miserable week.
Yeah, no, that definitely would be. No, because see, the way my family did it, like, we would go to Christmas Eve service at church, right? And then on our way home, we would try to find somewhere that's open to get dinner, because we weren't cooking when we got home from church. That wasn't happening. And so generally it would be fast food or pizza chain.
Pizza chain.
It would be one of those things because we needed something to eat. Sometimes we were smart about it and we would go before, but then it was still always afterwards. We were all kind of like, I'm kind of hungry and still don't want to cook anything, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, see, we would always cook on Christmas morning and have, like, a brunch. That was, like, our thing, rather than, like, you know, cooking the night before. Like, I think a lot of people do that. But, yeah, so I definitely get being absolutely slammed at insert pizza delivery chain, you know, on Christmas Eve, because we were definitely one of those families.
Yeah, around holidays, my grandma would usually do a bunch of cooking. We'd head over to her place. Like, I think we might have made, like, a dessert or something to bring with.
Yeah.
Now, then again, I don't know. I mean, I moved halfway across the bloody country for college. Like, I don't live near any of my family. So holiday season right now is, I don't know, I make myself some mac and cheese or something.
Yeah, I mean, I moved all the way across the country for college, and then I
think we moved similar distances, I think. Like, you're probably a little farther, but I think it's still in the vicinity of distance.
How many hours? Did you take a plane or did you drive?
I mean, I take a plane and it's about 4 hours in the air.
Have you driven before?
No, but Google Maps, I know this isn't necessarily accurate, Google Maps estimates it at about 18 hours.
Yeah, mine's at about 23.
That's a 5-hour difference. That's pretty similar.
Pretty massive.
Given the size of the United States, I'd say that's pretty close. Like, it's not the same kind of difference as if I was coming from California.
Yeah, no shit.
Considering the scale of the United States, I would say a 5-hour difference is close enough to be considered similar distance in this circumstance, given how much larger the disparity could be.
But see, now we're bringing extra variables in, and also, I don't give a shit. I
don't know why. I went back to, like, my middle school instincts. My first response was going to be, your mom's a variable.
I mean, she's not. She's she's a nice lady.
I'll take your word for it. I've never met her.
I literally don't even. Oh, yeah, because
Yeah,
then
what
I
were we
moved
talking
away.
about?
I moved away from my parents after college. Not like that far away. Like 6 hours.
You live
away.
a lot closer to your folks than I do.
Yeah, 6 hours away, but still, like, I don't have to make myself mac and cheese for holidays, but because my friends' parents will invite me over for the holidays.
Yeah, realistically, actually, I kind of riffed, but that's what I've done the last couple of Thanksgivings. Is one of my friends I went to go Thanksgiving with her family because like all of our friends would go with her.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Texas. They live in Texas now, so that's out of the question.
See, back in college, I did that with one of my friends.
I'm gonna see like this Thanksgiving, this Christmas. I'll see if my roommates are up to anything. Like if anyone who's left out, maybe we'll do like a roommates friendsgiving or something. But honestly, all of them have folks in the nearby area, so I'll probably be on my own for these holidays.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to garner pity. I'm just making statements. Please don't think I am.
Well, now that Wobb's gained a sufficient amount of pity for himself this episode.
Fuck you.
Let's go ahead. Let's take this train and put it back on the right tracks.
Where's this train going in the station? Are we talking about more episodes? Do we want to talk about the end of this show? Do we want to talk about
just
the mid
something
of the
revolving around the show? I think would be a good start.
That's not helpful. Well, okay, I do have one other thing about this show that I would like to bring up, that I would actually like to bring up.
Okay.
But it is not until the final episode, and I know you
fine.
often don't like me talking about the end of shows on here.
No, for this one I don't really mind, but I do just want to give a spoiler warning in case, because personally I think my feelings are pretty clear about how I feel about the show. Personally, I think you should go watch it. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Have you sleuthed out where you think I'm putting it?
I have a feeling, but I don't want to say anything yet.
Right.
But my detective brain has been going a couple times.
That explains the smoke and screeching.
Yeah, I know. They're rusty. Like I haven't oiled it in years. So yeah, just spoiler warning for the ending because we are about to spoil the entire ending.
One thing that isn't at the ending that I forgot about: there's a strong anime girl, and I like it.
Which one?
And it was the girl that the manga man was like, "Oh, Marin-chan is a real person. I wish to date her." And then she turns out to, I don't know, like be strong enough to actually take care of herself. And the guy's like, "Oh no, she isn't completely dependent on me. I don't want it anymore."
Well, that wasn't his thing. He was just like, "Oh no, she's not exactly my anime waifu."
Yeah, why would you want an anime waifu that can't stand up for herself?
I don't know, if you're a fucking nerd. I don't know.
I don't know if I should say that.
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
I backed out of saying something that would be funny.
Fucking say it if it's funny.
It would be. I've already ruined the joke by backing out of it.
Oh my god.
I've removed the humor.
Look, I can tell you, for future reference, if you say anything that you think is bad, I've said worse on the podcast. Okay.
Have you now? What's the worst thing you've said on the podcast?
I think the worst thing I've said we actually did cut.
There was definitely a segment that I was like, yeah, no, we're not keeping that.
Here, I'll type it to you so you...
No, I was just going to say, Manga Man doesn't know what he's talking about. I feel like anyone should be happy with an anime girl that could throw you out a window. Anyway.
There was also the two girls in the first episode, I think. Or was it the second episode? First or second episode.
Oh, right, that like sneak in and try to murder him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about them. They were kind of cool.
Yep.
And he completely fell for it because he's an idiot.
Oh, yeah, oblivious as fuck.
Now, if you want oblivious, there's an episode where the council president's trying to like ask him out, but like everything except just straight asking him out, and he is not picking up on any of it.
Yeah, but like I get it though, because I'm definitely the same way.
Oh, I'm dense as fuck.
Yeah.
I missed out on a girl pretty directly asking me out for the better part of like 6 months. Like, I don't have leeway to talk.
Oh, no. And I don't like to make generalized sweeping statements, but guys are fucking dumb, bro. Like, shit.
As a really dumb guy, I agree.
Oh, why the fuck you think we came on here to talk about anime?
This does lead a little bit into a complaint I have, and I think this is a broader complaint. I don't know enough about Japanese society to know if this is legitimately a complaint about the societal structures or not. I feel like it is, that if it's this prevalent in anime, they have such a rush on, like, trying to get women married off, like, immediately, and it just feels weird, because, like, so many girls in anime are just like, oh, I can't wait to find the perfect man and get married right out of high school or whatever. Or, like, the prevalence, especially in this show, of characters in high school imagining, like, confessing and potentially getting married to this person that, like, they've talked to, like, 3 times. You don't know them. Why is that where you're going with it? Like, I don't know. Fucking, like, have a date and learn if you're even compatible. Don't, like... I don't know. I don't get it, and I don't like it.
I mean, I think that happens in a lot of American media, too.
I feel like it's not quite the same way. I feel like in a lot of American media, it's like... I mean, yes, in rom-coms especially, there's going to be a lot of, like, I've seen this girl once, I love her, and I don't like it there either. But, like, I feel like it's a lot more prevalent in anime. Or maybe it's just because I've seen a lot more anime than I have American rom-coms, so that could also be it.
I mean, it's like even just in like American cartoons for kids, like when we were kids, there was like episodes where the girls would, like Powerpuff Girls, I'm pretty sure has an episode where like Blossom falls in love with somebody. I don't know, I just have a vivid image in my mind of Blossom in a wedding dress for some reason.
I mean, if I can get on my soapbox for a moment, I like shows that handle relationship stuff well. I'm totally not stealing this from a Facebook post, but there was a Facebook post that explained this very well, and I agree with the sentiment. It's handled well in, like, Avatar, because they give the girls agency on whether or not they, like, actually want to be a part of that. It's, like, a thing that happens with both Katara and, what the fuck's her name? The lead girl of the Kyoshi Warriors. Where, like, they'll make their intentions clear, or they'll, like, shut the person down if they're being, like, way too forward. And I appreciate that. It's not just them rushing to get in a gown or whatever. Or, like, and something... This leads into the bit that I wanted to talk about in the final episode. So we're going to actually talk about the spoilers here. Okay. Although it's not the main part of the final episode. The main part is involving Midori. But before the first part of the final episode, the council president, well, whatever her name is, I've already forgotten.
It's Ayase.
No,
Ayase is like different.
She finally gets up the gumption and asks Seiji out. I'm like, good for you, bud. You were direct. I'm proud. And Seiji turns her down because he's in love with Midori. And she's, like, super mature about it. She's like, thank you for being straightforward. That helps me get over this. I'm just like, dang, they're actually handling rejection like a fucking adult. I'm glad for that. Because I feel like a lot of shows don't do that. I don't know. That may just be me, but, like, I really appreciated the actual good example of how to handle, I don't know, like, rejection.
No, yeah, no, because that's definitely, like, a rare thing.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, a lot of times, and this is in media general, like, I'm not going to act like American shows don't do this, too. American shows are probably worse about it, I don't know. Where it's like, she said, no, I have no interest in you. That means I must find ever-increasing ways to ask her out over and over and over again until she says yes. And it's like, no. You were turned down. Their statement is clear. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have opinions.
Oh, no shit. No, yeah, I like that a lot, too, because... like, not only was it like a really mature way to kind of like put a nail in that that kind of like path or whatever that this show could have gone in, right? It also like really speaks to Ayase's character, and it really fits with who she is, you know. Which she is the class president. She is very organized and sure of herself and everything, and so like something like this does, which is honestly, it's just like a crush that she's had for a couple months. That's all it really is. It's nothing super serious. It's not like they were in like a long-term relationship or anything.
Yeah, no, she doesn't get a crush on him until like episode 2.
Yeah, and this show takes place over like 3 or 4 months, I think.
Oh, I was gonna guess a couple of weeks. I don't actually know the proper time scale.
I feel like it's like a couple months. It might just be a few weeks, but I don't know.
I think it's 2 months because they start reading her diary at the end, and it started in October, and I think one of the last entries was somewhere in November.
Okay, so it's like a few weeks to 2 months, somewhere in there. So really, she hasn't had this crush that long. It's not like a really serious thing, and so once she finally confesses, and he's like, "I can't. I'm sorry." She's like, "Okay, cool. I guess. I'm glad we know. So now we can take things back to how they were." Or,
yeah, and she's still like clearly disappointed, which makes sense.
Yeah. Oh
like,
yeah, no, of course.
Shit sucks, but like
she's not just like completely overreacting and like acting like this is the end of the world thing. But like also for some people it would be, which I understand. But like for her character, it just doesn't make sense, and I really liked that a lot.
Yeah,
definitely.
And like I'll admit, even there's like a mild sidetrack, but like I want to bring it up before I forget. The complaint I have about characters like falling in love with someone they've literally never spoken to, that's also a problem with the main romance of the series. Midori ends up wishing herself to be on Seiji's hand because she's been like watching him from the rooftops or whatever for a while, which I don't know, that sounds more creepy than in love or anything to me. I don't like that, but I don't know.
Well,
and I will admit, like, I think it's partly on like framing. Like, yeah, if you're like, I don't know, if it's someone like you're at school and they catch your eye, like, yeah, you're gonna see them around a lot, and you're probably gonna be like, if they walk into the classroom or whatever, you're gonna be like, oh dang, it's gonna be that person. But like a lot of anime has like almost the full on like. Thank you, Train. I very appreciate your addition to my commentary. It just keeps going. Good gravy. What was I talking about? It's like 5 honks in a row.
You're talking about like seeing them in class or something.
Right, yeah, like if you're in an area like they're going to be in a lot already, you're probably just going to be like, oh yeah, I saw you around like a bunch or whatever. But like when a character's like, I've been watching you for months now, and then the other person's like, oh, that's really cute of you. I'm like, no, that's not cute. That's weird.
Well, part of it for her was like she would see him on her way to school. Like they would just always at the train station. So it's kind of a similar thing as like I would see you in class, like as you walked into class or something.
Yeah, and like I can see that being a build up to like, hey, you're attractive. Do you want to go out sometime? But whereas they play this up as like, oh, I've seen you walking home from school like a whole bunch. I want to marry you. It's like, that's a bit of a jump. I don't get it.
I think that's just kind of Midori's personality, though. She seems like
I'm also meaning this less on Midori and... Shut up. I don't care, Train. Sorry, that's driving me up the wall. It's more of a trope, though. Like, that's a very common thing in these kind of shows. Like, I don't know. It frustrates me when it is used as a plot device in general. I don't know if it's picking up on the mic, but it's aggressive. It just keeps going.
We'll figure it out. I don't know. Personally, I don't think it's... At least for me, I don't see it as that big of a thing because that she does want to learn more about him. You know, she's not like immediately like she says that's in this specific instance, right? Sometimes yeah, of course, but in this one, most of the times I feel like when she says like I want to get married, it's very over the top and very much like a comedy device rather than like her actually being like, which I don't know. I'm not saying like you're saying that about this show. I just wanted to elaborate.
I say does the like skip to marriage more than Midori does, but Midori does like very heavily insists she's in love with Seiji, even though prior to this she hadn't ever even spoken to him.
But again, I think that just kind of ties into her personality, where she seems like a very all or nothing person.
I don't know. I've always felt like it's a poor device. Like I feel like characters insisting that they're in love when you've barely held a conversation with a person always feels super forced to me, outside of like, what was his name? Kita, for example, in Da-Da-Da-Da, where he just walks up to random girls and is like, I love you, let's go out. Like, yeah, that's hyperbole for the sake of trying to flatter someone. Like, I get that. Mm-hmm. Whereas this is taking a more sincere, like, oh, I love this person, I've watched them. It's like, no, you have no idea what that person's actually like.
Yeah. And I will say, they do it a little at the beginning, but I think most of it comes around later in the show, too, after Midori has learned more about.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, her reasons for sticking with him later on are really good, especially when they bump into, like, her sister or some of their friends later on. And she can give, like, actual tangible reasons for why she thinks Seiji is the right person for her to have picked out, which, like, yeah, cool, great. They've shown that they work well together. But when this is the first time you've ever spoken to him and you're wearing an I Love Seiji t-shirt, it's like, no, you don't have enough information to say that. It's always rubbed me the wrong way, okay? Sorry, this is a pet peeve of mine.
No, that's fine. I think I'm coming at it from a different perspective of it's a rom-com and this is part of the joke that they're using at the beginning. Because who the fuck is actually going to make themselves an I Love So-and-so t-shirt? And not only just one, but that's her whole wardrobe as Seiji's right hand. Like that's the whole. Like I love when she's pulling them out, and then she's like, "Oh, this is a brand new one I made. It's our special shared umbrella." It's like, fucking, what the fuck are you on about? It's great. I think it's more as a comedy thing, but I can kind of understand where you're coming from with it too.
Yeah, no, I get a little more heated about it than I probably need to be. I just that's always rustled my jimmies, dang it.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Do you have anything else you wanted to bring up?
I don't think we have anything else in the plot we really need to get up to. Like, we mentioned possibly doing a best girl argument, but I don't feel particularly strongly about it, so it's up to you if we go for that.
I just want to guess. And I'm gonna imagine it's Ren.
Yeah. She's trouble. She's problematic, but I also really like her.
I mean, the fucking insane girl was your girl in Kakegurui, the one with the gun. Like, so, yeah, it makes sense. All right, now.
Look, I know people tell you not to stick your dick in crazy, but hey, sometimes crazy's fun.
Okay, who's my favorite girl? After that,
I need to leave.
Comment,
I need to go away.
After that little comment, who's my favorite?
Who's your favorite? Is this a favorite or a waifu thing? Because it's going to change my answer.
I'll say favorite.
The favorite is Shiori. I feel like you'd vibe with Shiori. She is kind of a fun character, I will grant you that.
I like Shiori, but
except for the episode. Except for that episode.
I don't have a problem with that episode personally.
I have a lot of problem with that episode.
All just gags, and the reason I don't have a problem with it. Okay, this is actually perfect. The reason I don't have a problem with it is because Seiji never gives in to anything. He's never like, oh yeah, maybe this, yeah, whatever. There's never that thought. He's always like, fucking stop.
Yeah, okay.
You're a kid.
And,
I will that's
grant.
What's great about
I
it.
don't like that sequence. Seiji's reaction is what keeps it from being, like, completely irredeemable. Like, Seiji has the correct reaction.
Like, I don't even think it's bad at all, because I think it's, you know, showing that Seiji is a regular-ass person, and it's also kind of being like, hey, guys, pay attention to Seiji. Follow Seiji's advice here. You know, right?
I don't know. I think it's cringy and uncomfortable.
Oh, well, that's fine. You think it's cringe. That's fine. That's a whole different topic. That's a whole different thing. But
it's cringy, uncomfortable, and unpleasant.
But no, she's not my favorite. Though I do really like her. She's probably my second favorite.
You've already showed your disdain for Rin.
I don't hate Rin. She's just not my favorite.
You hate any character with short hair, so it's not Ayase. That pretty much just leaves Midori.
Yeah, Midori is my favorite.
See, there we go. Process of elimination.
But also, the reason why I kind of like stumbled when you were like, waifu or favorite character, is because I've had this rule for a long time now. Okay? It's gonna sound fucking stupid, right? But like, if a show has two characters getting together, then one of those characters can't be my fucking waifu. They're already with somebody.
Puts it off the table.
Like, obviously,
you respect animated relationships.
Yeah, it literally. Okay, a waifu is literally an animated wife. Like, what the fuck is the difference? Like, what the fuck is the difference? In any case, at least they're in the same.
What are you worried about?
Is
Seiji gonna come beat you up for it?
I don't know, dude. He's got a demon right hand. I'm not fucking with that. But no, I like Midori a lot. I think she's really cute and adds a lot of life to the show.
Fair. Do we want to move on to thoughts? If we do thoughts, I think you're going first.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I'll go first. Alrighty, well,
or do we want your higher score second?
Yeah, see, I had a feeling. No, I'll go first. Because I got to do the shill segment. So.
Oh yeah, you're shilling this time.
Yep, because you.
I'm not wasted. Anime. I'm not wasted enough to make the shill entertaining.
So. I really like Midori Days, and my enjoyment of it on the rewatch did not lessen at all from when I first watched it. It's just super fun and cute, and for the most part, wholesome. And I like seeing all the different relationships between, not just romantically, but like friendships and like sibling relationships and stuff like that. And we didn't even talk about Shiori's whole thing with like her new mom, because her mom died and then her dad remarried, and that's such a fucking difficult topic that I think the show handles pretty well, if not a little too quickly, but I think it does a decent job at.
Sorry to interject, but I do feel like that would be a really interesting topic for a show to like actually delve into, because I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm the only person that's been in that situation, but like I'm sure other people have it, plenty of other people have as well, and I think that'd be really cool to see a show try to like actually tackle the like the difficulty of grappling with, you know, not only the loss of a parent sometime in the past, but also the introduction of a new like parental figure. Like that's fucking hard to get over at first, at least, especially if it's like, especially depending how recent it was.
Oh yeah, no, it's I don't want to say it's the same thing, but it's kind of similar to like a divorce too, and kind of dealing with that. Definitely not the same thing, you know, but
they're related struggles, but
right, they're related, but they're not the same thing. But and so I've been through that, and so you know I would love to see a show that goes deep, because I've seen a couple that deal with that more so than I've really seen with like the death of one parent, then remarry and all that jazz. But I think it does a pretty good job, especially for it not being the focus of the show and more being kind of a thing from the episode. You know what I mean? I think that was pretty well done. I can understand why people memed on the show a lot back in the day, because yeah, his right hand becomes a girl. Haha. Ho ho, funny. Haha.
They do make that into a riff at one bit.
Only once though.
Yeah, thankfully. It was still an awkward line. I mean, it was mildly entertaining, but it was an awkward line.
But it was meant to be awkward too. It was not meant to be as like.
Do you ever just brag to your friend in the middle of a magazine shop about how long it's been since you jerked off?
That was really funny, actually. But yeah, no, it's really entertaining. I like the designs a lot. Music's pretty good. I don't know. I'm starting to sound like a Mal review, so. So to cap off this Mal review,
please, what else is this podcast other than a ton of Mal reviews put together?
No, shut up! Don't put that on us. Oh my god. So my score, as I said, I enjoyed it just as much as I did in my first watch. So my score has not changed, and it is still an 8 for me, which is a highly recommend. Highly recommend. You go watch it. It's on Tubi TV, at least in America, which means it's completely free. You don't have to pay for Tubi, and you can watch.
I thought you had to pay for Tubi. I was looking into it. There's a show I wanted to watch that's on Tubi.
Tubi is I don't even think you can pay for Tubi, actually. Weird. It's all ad-based.
There's a sci-fi show on Tubi that I want to watch.
Yeah,
that
Kamen
I watched
Rider.
like the 3rd season with my grandparents while I was home in Illinois.
There's a couple Kamen Rider series that are on Tubi as well. But yeah, so that's my thoughts about it. Definitely recommend checking it out.
Midori Days, discounting the fact that it's a fucking weird premise. Mm-hmm. We've watched weirder. Mysterious Girlfriend X. There we go. There's a weird one for you.
Love that
show. I feel like it's standard rom-com fare. I mean, it's an unusual premise. It's a unique premise. I'll grant it that. But a lot of the riffs, a lot of the themes are pretty similar to what you're going to find in a lot of other shows. I already complained about how several of the gags are... Well, I don't know if I can say several. I don't know. I'm very hung up on that one joke that frustrated me. I don't feel like this show brings much new to the table, personally. Again, also, though, the weirdness about, how... Yeah, this was 2004, so arguably this brought stuff to the table well before most of what else I've watched, but... From my pool of information. I also... I wasn't feeling it. I really wasn't. Watching the show was... kind of boring? I don't think it was necessarily bad. There were definitely parts that I aggressively did not like. There were also parts that I thought were handled really, really well. I did have some good compliments for this show. But overall, I just couldn't get into this. I found myself, like you do, browsing Twitter on the other monitor or playing some Hearthstone or something, because, I couldn't get into it. I really couldn't. It felt like standard rom-com fare, and not even particularly good rom-com fare. It was dull enough to the point that I have an entire episode that I didn't have anything worthwhile to write down. And that says a lot, given how aggressively I take notes for this podcast. I did compare this to shows that I already have given scores to, and I think it falls in perfect company if I place it with the rest of my 5s. I don't think it's terrible, but I wouldn't say it's really worth a watch personally. I wouldn't recommend it to people. Sorry, mate.
Doesn't bring anything to the table. Name one other show that has the girl as the right hand of the man. I literally
just said that it has a unique premise, and the rest of the show isn't that outstanding.
One other show, buddy.
What part of unique premise do you not get?
What part of brings nothing to the table do you not understand?
You are dense.
No.
Good gravy.
Motherfucker, my name's not Seiji.
I do think it's kind of hilarious how in one of the episodes, Ayase invites him to the movie theater and is like, I'm going to get scared at this movie intentionally and try to hug him. And he just accidentally dodges every one of them. That was kind of beautiful. This show did have some good gags in it.
Had a lot of good gags, but okay.
No, not enough.
I'm not gonna fight you
one.
about it all that much.
I really couldn't get into this. It had its moments, but overall, I don't think it was enough to really hold much interest.
I'm disappointed, but I can't say I'm surprised.
I already could tell from the outset that you liked this show a lot more than I did.
Oh yeah, well with my high like can't wait to rewatch it. Yeah. But alrighty, well, time for the shill.
Yep. And then I have a choice for you to make afterward.
Oh no. Alright, well, if you are listening to this in an audio format on anywhere that you listen to your regular podcast, we do also have video with this if you go to our YouTube channel. A Shot of Weeb, linked in the description below where you can see our beautiful faces. And if you are watching us on YouTube, as you've just heard, we have this in an audio-only format on basically anywhere that you listen to podcasts. So go check those out if you want to listen to us on the go. We do get a slight kickback from ads on the audio versions through Anchor, but it's not like it's that much. We've made like $6 the entire time we've done the podcast.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I think we're up to 7 now, bro.
Oh wow, crazy. So yeah, obviously we're not doing this for money or anything. That being said, if you would like to donate, we do have a donation button that is available on our page, our Anchor page, and you can go donate there. And if you do donate and you want us to shout you out on the show, just DM one of us and with a screenshot of like proof of payment, like a receipt or something, and just tell us how you want us to shout you out. Speaking of DMs, you can find both of us on Twitter. I am at Seaweed AMB. He's at the Epic Wob, right?
Yes. Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
We're all good. I just wanted to double check. Find us both on there. He does a lot of the
administrative
updates,
work.
The updates for this show. Sometimes he'll even make a tweet about something else. It's crazy.
Sometimes I might tweet about my hatred for a World of Warcraft character at 4 a.m.
Yeah. And I like a lot of VTuber art and retweet a lot of it and other art, and sometimes I'll make my own tweets, but it's mostly like VTuber stuff.
Sometimes you'll make your own YouTube video.
Shut the fuck up.
I need to stop roasting you about that, given that I have been saying I would start.
That's a segue right there, baby, because you can go subscribe to me on YouTube at Seaweed Ambassador. I am currently working on stuff. It doesn't look like it because nothing's been uploaded for a while, but I am working on things currently. So yeah, go check out my stuff. And actually, we mentioned Mysterious Girlfriend X, and I've got an AMV on that, so
it's pretty solid.
It's pretty sick. Like, not to toot my own horn, but like pretty proud of that one. So
you had at least one good edit in it. That was so. I'm sorry. That was uncalled for.
I made a lot of edits in that. Holy fuck!
There is one specifically good edit that I remember, but it only sticks in my head because you showed it to me while you were still working on it. You were like, "Is this a good edit?" And I'm like, "Oh, that was sick."
Okay, I want to know what it is after the show. I think is that all? I think that's everything.
I think that's it.
Yeah. All right.
So. Next week is my choice for show, yeah?
Yeah, but you said I have a choice to make.
But it's also your choice. Because I've already written down what show we're going to watch next week, but then I realized there's a second one. There's a second one that I've already seen. So I'm going to tell you the tags of the 2 shows I'm considering, and you pick which one.
Do I have to guess by like the fucking number URL code too? No. Is that...
No. Would you be more interested in watching a show that Anime List has described as action, mystery, supernatural suspense, or drama, gourmet, romance, slice of life. Which one would you prefer?
Drama, gourmet.
Drama, gourmet, romance, slice of life.
That sounds like Shokugeki no Soma. But I think season 1 of that is 2 core, so it couldn't be that.
Whichever one you pick, we will watch next week.
Let's go with the first one, the mystery.
Okay, so I need to change my notes.
Motherfucker.
Well, no, because I had written one down and then I saw the other one. So the one that I'm marking off now is one that we might still watch soon-ish because I am intrigued by it. I haven't seen it.
Would you mind telling me what it is?
Do you want me to? Because I might still pick it later.
Well, like, you could pick it later and just not tell me you're going to pick that one until you do.
Okay, that's fair. So, drama, gourmet, romance, slice of life would have been Ristorante Paradiso. It's the one I found. It's by David Production. It's the one I found the other day, or a couple weeks ago when we were talking about, like, what all studios we'd seen. I clicked on David Production to see what else they did, and I found Ristorante Paradiso. That was what I considered. That's what I was planning to go to for next week. But we're not doing that next week now. Because you chose action, mystery, supernatural, suspense. This is a show that I have actually seen once. I watched it, and... Oh, I just saw the score I gave it. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Do you have Netflix? This is on Netflix. I think it's a Netflix original.
I do.
We're watching a show called B, The Beginning. It's the letter B. B, The Beginning.
Okay.
I watched it a few years ago, but I'm curious to take a look back on it because I don't fucking remember any of it.
Okay, I think I remember hearing some good things about it.
There's apparently kind of like a second season. It's like a 6-episode ONA that came out afterward that I haven't seen yet, but we're not going to be...
Yeah.
We're not going to be doing that right now.
Okay.
But I'm curious to revisit it. I wonder if I'll like it more than I did the first time, or less than I did the first time, or what.
Honestly, I'm just happy that you've chosen one that I haven't seen before. Like, I haven't seen
every anime ever.
No, God, no. I'm nowhere even close. I am probably going to hit 800 by the end of this year, though.
I'm trying to hit 100 by the end of the year. I'm at like 89 or something right now.
I need 12 more shows, and I'll hit 800 completed anime. Which sadly doesn't count the over 900 episodes of One Piece I've watched.
It doesn't count the 12 episodes of One Piece I've watched.
Yeah, no shit. Because you watched 12 episodes of One Piece.
I talked to a customer the other day about One Piece because he was wearing a One Piece shirt. And I'm like, yo, that's a cool shirt. And he's like, oh, do you watch it? I'm like, I'm in Usopp's introduction arc.
Oh, God.
He told me which arc is his favorite, and it's one I haven't gotten to yet. It's like 50 episodes in or something.
It's how many episodes in?
50-ish, I think it was.
What was the name of it?
It was one of the early arcs.
Do you remember what the name was?
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying.
Oh. Damn.
Maybe it was the arc after... What is it? East Blue is the first one, I think. Maybe it was the one after that.
Well, East Blue encompasses everything until the Grand Line. So you're technically in East Blue, but East Blue is also split up into arcs.
Okay.
Because there's Romance Dawn is the
there's like
first
arcs
part.
for each. I know there's arcs for each character because like we had all of Nami's episodes, and then we're watching all of Usopp's episodes. We had all.
You have not gotten all of Nami's episodes, actually. I don't think. No, you definitely haven't, because you have not gone to Arlong Park.
I think Arlong Park might have been what he was talking about, actually. Point being, like I'm meaning the arc where they introduce her and they fight like Buggy and stuff.
Yeah, that's like the Zoro arc. Nami's arc is Arlong Park.
Did they just put like Zoro and Nami together? Yeah, they probably did. It's been a hot minute.
Regardless, we're rambling now, and it's time to end this episode. So, thank you guys for listening to this episode. I don't know what I was trying to say there. We'll be back with the be the beginning. The letter B.
We'll see.
Not anything else.
We'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm a little worried, but
I'm a little worried too. I'll be completely honest.
We'll see.
I probably should have just stuck with Ristorante Paradiso.
We'll see. I just hope it's not another Babylon experience. So
I don't think it is. I know it doesn't go as big thinky as Babylon, but it might go a little bit big thinky.
Well, I just knocked on wood to make sure. Don't jinx myself. So all right, you guys have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
See you then.